The good earth is turned, and a new community puts down its roots. This is a housing project, but it's also a project in building new lives. The Tasmanian Housing Department is dedicated to a giant task of providing the ever-increasing population with homes of a good standard.
In 16 years, the Tasmanian government has provided homes for over 30,000 people. The work has cost £20 million, but has housed nearly 1/10 of the Tasmanian population.
£20 million has built a lot of houses. Around the outskirts of Hobart and Launceston, whole new suburbs have sprung up. Some are self-contained townships with their own water supply, new streets, which were once avenues of forest, and buses to serve their growing population. Close to the heart of every citizen is the thought that his home is his castle. Shabby castles these that barely fulfill the dream. This is where the work of the Housing Department begins. Living conditions of all applicants for Housing Department homes are inspected by experienced officers. The list of waiting applicants is a long one, and houses must be allotted on a strict basis of need. This is the very human work at the heart of a government machine. Tangled lives in a city jungle are given a fresh start when new areas for housing are chosen in the green open acres outside the city. Modern planning preserves their green charm and provides space for young lives to grow husky, far from the crowded dangers of city streets. But new areas for housing must not be too far from the factories that give employment, or from the schools, or the arteries of transport. When a new area has been selected for housing development, the vast resources of the Housing Department slide smoothly into action. From teams in the field comes the information for the technical officers to subdivide the land into blocks and design roads and drains. The department's own architects sketch the plans for houses, which meet many needs. A home for the average family, or smaller units where the family need is less, maisonettes, and blocks of flats for the densely populated city areas, where the space to expand is only upwards. There are also specially designed small units for elderly people who have a right to a comfortable home after the arduous years. In factory areas, whole new communities have sprung up to house workers in modern homes close to their jobs. For the Housing Department, it is all part of the human adventure of housing the people. It's an adventure taken very much in earnest, as the plans emerge from the drawing board and begin to take shape. In southern Tasmania, construction is carried out mainly by the department's own day labour organisation, and in other areas by contractors. Government home building is a major industry by itself, uniting the talents of a bewildering range of tradesmen. On a new subdivision, 500 or 1,000 homes may be planned. To feed the huge demand for materials, a tremendous organisation is needed. The department operates its own mill and timber yard and runs a joinery factory, which is one of the biggest in Tasmania. From its own plumber's shop come the spouting and ridge capping, prefabricated to fit each house. The department needs so many stoves, it buys the entire output of a Tasmanian factory. From the factory to the home site, the department's fleet of transports runs a shuttle service. Once begun, construction rolls steadily forward through its many phases. For at the back of all this industry, giving it meaning and a sense of urgency, is the plight of the homeless and the poorly housed. Each new house or flat completed may be a statistic in the department's log of achievement, but more important, it's also the solution of a human problem. Standing at the core of every community is the home, a fact well known to the housing department.
The ideal in a democratic country is every man his own landlord. Wherever we've built houses, we've encouraged home ownership by enabling the people we've housed to buy on easy terms, even without payment of a deposit. Well housed, a community has heart and faith and strength to build for the future.